I need you to stop for a moment. Just stop because I have something to tell you and I need you to actually hear it, not just listen, hear it. My name is George. I am 100 years old. I have outlived my wife. I have outlived two of my children. I have outlived most of the people I ever called friends. And I am sitting here in a chair by a window with nothing left to chase, nothing left to prove. And I finally understand what life was actually about. It took me 100 years, 100 years to understand something that was true on the very first day I was born. I grew up in a small town in northern England. My father was a coal miner. His hands were permanently black, not from dirt, but from the dust that lived inside the cracks of his skin. He worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and when he came home, he sat in silence, not because he had nothing to say, but because he had nothing left. The work had taken everything. I watched my father be invisible his whole life. People looked through him, shopkeepers, neighbors, men in suits. They looked right through him like he wasn't standing there. And I was maybe 9 years old when I made a decision, a quiet, burning decision deep in my chest. I decided that was never going to be me. I was going to be someone that people saw, someone that people remembered. That decision cost me everything that actually mattered. I left home at 17, worked my way up, studied at night when other men slept, wore cheap shoes to work so I could save for a better suit. I genuinely believed that if I could just get to a certain place, earn a certain amount, have a certain title, people would finally look at me the way I always wanted to be looked at. And I did it. By my 50s, I had everything I said I wanted: a large house, a company car, a name people recognized, staff who called me sir. And I remember the exact night it all felt hollow. It was a Tuesday. I came home late, as I always did. The house was quiet. My wife, Margaret, had already gone to bed. My daughter's drawings were still on the kitchen table from earlier that day. Little stick figures, me, her mother, the dog, all holding hands. She'd drawn me with a big smile. I stood there in my expensive kitchen, in my expensive suit, and I cried. Not because I was sad. I couldn't even name what I felt. It was something worse than sadness. It was the realization that I had been present in that child's drawings, but absent from her actual life. She drew me smiling because she didn't know any different. She thought that was just what fathers looked like, men who came home after dark. Margaret tried to tell me. She tried many times. She wasn't a woman who shouted or made scenes. She was quiet and dignified and patient in a way that I did not deserve. She said to me once very calmly, George, you are here, but you are not here. And I am lonely in a way I cannot explain to you because I don't think you would understand. She was right. I didn't understand. I thought I was being a good husband. I was providing. I was building security. I was protecting our future. But while I was off protecting our future, I was destroying our present. Every missed dinner, every school play I left early, every night she fell asleep alone, waiting for a husband who was physically in the same house, but mentally somewhere else entirely. We stayed together. We worked through it. But I'll tell you something true and painful. Some things, once you miss them, you never get back. You cannot go back and hold your daughter's hand on her first day of school. You cannot go back and lie in the garden on a summer evening and just be there, doing nothing, being nothing except a man who loves his family. Those moments passed. I was not in them, and no amount of success has ever given them back to me. Margaret died 11 years ago. The last thing she said to me, the very last thing, was, I know you loved me, not you were a wonderful husband, not you gave me a wonderful life. I know you loved me. She was being kind. That's who she was, gracious until the end. But I heard what was underneath those words. She knew I loved her. She also knew I spent 50 years showing that love in all the wrong ways. I think about that every single day. Here is what nobody tells you when you are young and hungry and certain that achievement is the answer. The hunger doesn't go away when you succeed, it just changes shape. You get the promotion and then you need the next one. You buy the house and then you need a bigger one. You reach the number in your bank account you always dreamed of, and then you adjust the number upward. The goalpost moves. It always moves because the hunger was never really about any of those things. The hunger was about something underneath, something that no job title, no salary, no house can reach. It was about feeling like enough, like you matter, like you belong in the space you're standing in. And that feeling of enoughness, I could have given myself that at 20 years old. I could have simply decided that I was worthy of being here, not because I had earned it, not because the world had confirmed it, but simply because I was here, alive, human, already carrying everything I needed. Instead, I spent 80 years trying to earn it from the outside, 80 years, and it was inside me the whole time. I have a great granddaughter. She's 7. She came to visit me last spring and she climbed up on my lap carefully because she knows I am old and fragile now. And she put her small hand on my face and she said, "I love you, great grandpa George." Just like that. No reason. Not because I had achieved anything, not because of anything I had built or earned or proved, just because I was there and I was hers. That is the only thing that has ever felt like enough. Not the corner office, not the title, not the car or the house or the pension, a child's hand on my face. And the tragedy, the real tragedy, is that those moments were always available to me. I was just too busy running to stop and receive them. If I could go back, and this is the thing I think about most lying here in the quiet, I would not chase less. I would not work less necessarily, but I would be present more. I would put down the telephone. I would sit at the dinner table and actually be at the dinner table. I would look at my wife when she was speaking to me. I would let my children see me when they looked at me, not a distracted, half present version of me, but actually me. I would let myself be loved without feeling like I hadn't earned it yet. That's all. That's the whole thing. You think what you're chasing is the destination. It isn't. What you're chasing is a feeling, and that feeling is not at the destination. It never was. It's available to you right now in this moment. If you are willing to stop, just stop and decide you are already enough. You don't have to earn the right to feel at peace. You don't have to reach a certain level of success before you're allowed to rest. You don't have to keep proving yourself to people who were never paying attention anyway. You are already here. You are already enough. You already matter. I wish someone had told me that when I was 25. I wish I had believed them if they had. I am 100 years old. My hands look like my father's hands now. And I understand finally that my father was never invisible. He was never nobody. He was a man who worked hard and came home and loved his family in the only way he knew how. I wish I had told him that before he died. Don't make the same mistake I made. Don't wait until there's no one left to say it to. Whatever you're waiting for, stop waiting. The life you want to be living one day is the life you are already in. It is happening right now around you, whether you are present for it or not. Be present for it, please.